All right, welcome back to Live with Jane and Jody. It's Tuesday, June 13th. And as always, we are excited to see this great group rolling in here today. Lots of new candidates coming in, and we're going to have some great conversation with current students for you guys. This today is a hot topic. Everybody coming realizes, all right, this is a second career, third career. I've already got a family. I want to start my family. What do we do? We've got some answers for you today. We're going to have some great conversations with a couple of current students that have families, that have growing families, to kind of give you a perspective of how realistic is this? Can I do it? Let's get that support lined up for you. All right. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Jane. I am one of our admissions representatives here. So I'm here to help you guys get ready for a successful interview. Whatever I can do to help you plan out your prerequisites, put together a great application, align some shadowing, any help you need, really preparing for this adventure, I am happy to do so. A little bit about me outside of Sonoran University. Essentially, I'm a live entertainment junkie. Like, I love concerts and sporting events and any kind of event like that, to be outdoors and just having a blast. I mean, if you're here in Arizona, you know how wonderful our environment is. So if you can be out there enjoying it, or you can observe others really putting forth an amazing effort, I love it. I'm addicted. In fact, tonight I'm going to a WNBA basketball game. Go Mercury. All right, that's enough about me. Oh, real quick, by the way, we are recording this event, so you're absolutely welcome. Turn on your cameras, join us in this conversation, especially use the chat menu and throw out some questions once we get the conversation rolling. All right, Jody, your turn.
Awesome. All right. So welcome everybody. I am Jody. So I am Jane's counterpart. Only I work with the beginning of the alphabet, but still do the same thing. Work with students in between A through L as far as the alphabet. So absolutely love what I do. I've been here in the Valley in June 15th, 2 days, it will be 22 years. So absolutely love it. I've actually been with Sonoran. And it was SCNM, of course. In August will be my 17th year. So absolutely love what I do, love working with all of you guys. So that's about it. Mine's not as entertaining as Jane is. No, but welcome. We are so very glad that you guys take the time out of your day to spend this hour with us and to get all the information that we can share with you. We do these for you guys. So thank you. I know I had an accepted student that actually asked for this topic. So here you go. So hopefully you enjoy it. I'm going to share a core value with you guys, as I normally do. And of course, a core value is beliefs of our institution. So one of our core values is we love. So we truly love having the opportunity to work with each and every one of you throughout this process. We enjoy watching you grow from the very beginning as you are working on your prerequisites all the way to graduation and becoming our alumni and part of our community. Being a part of all of this and watching you fulfill your dream is as rewarding to Jane and I as it is to you. So that's my core value. And I'm looking for Chelsea because I think she just texted me. So maybe she can't get in. So yeah. So that's what I got.
Speaking of love, 16, almost 17 years, Jody, you are amazing. All right, Alexandria, I think Chelsea followed your breadcrumbs there and went over into that team's room. We'll get her here eventually, I'm sure.
I will.
Jody's working on that. So let me tell you guys a little bit about our guest speakers that are joined us today to answer some of your questions and the fun questions Jody and I have come up with. Already in the room with us is Alexandria. She is an Arizona native, so fortunately she didn't have to relocate and pack up the van and everybody here. But a little bit about her background. She received her undergraduate right here in town from Arizona State University, of Life Sciences degree. She started here at Sonoran in spring of 22. So right in the middle of COVID. I think we had started to really figure things out there. Can't wait to hear about your experiences so far. But outside of the school, she also enjoys hiking, reading, and wandering through vintage thrift shops. I love it. And spending time with family, of course. So thank you for joining us today, Alexandria. Anything else you want to add? Say hello.
Hi, guys. I'm just in the middle of finals, so I've been spending a lot of time studying, but I'm really looking forward to this break that's coming up and getting to do something new and be a family. So I'm happy to do this with all you, because I totally was asking these same questions when I was in your seat, and it feels like yesterday. It goes so fast.
Good, good. So I'm going to start the conversation off here.
Hold on. Did we
ahead,
get
Jane.
Chelsea? Hold on. Let's find. I wanted
We
to make sure I
did.
get Chelsea in here.
It keeps kicking me out, Jane. I was going to have you email her the link.
I
It keeps
found
kicking
it.
me out for some reason. Okay.
Thanks. I'm sorry.
So,
sorry
and
to
I
cut you
think
off.
that's what she did. No. I was just going to have you try to send her the link.
We'll get her.
So what we're going to do here, guys, is Jane and I have some questions for Alexandria and Chelsea. We'll kind of go back and forth, getting both of your opinions for as many questions as we can get out there for you. But in the meantime, your questions are the most important as accepted students, prospective students. So we want you to, whether it's in the chat or you turn off your microphone and just ask the question. We want to hear questions from you. What do you want to know? And then we'll go from there. Sound good? Awesome. So Alexandria, I am going to start with you. And I always start all of my guest speakers with, how did you get interested in naturopathic medicine to begin with?
Yeah, so I really think that I remember from a young age looking at my parents. My mom had an interest in medicine, and my dad went through some EMT training. And I like vividly remember looking through embryology books and wondering like how is a person made? Like where do people come from? And then looking at disorders and things and like, oh, like these things can happen, and how do we help people? So naturally, I always had that interest, and then went to ASU, got my undergrad in life science. Knew I wanted to be a doctor from the get-go. And actually just wanted to know more about, I don't know, health, how healing, how things work together. And yeah.
Okay.
So I'm curious, like, did your advisor at ASU tell you about naturopathic medicine? You knew you wanted to be a doctor. How specifically did you discover naturopathic medicine?
So I can't exactly remember. I toured SCNM at the time. I toured it in about 2010, 2009. I think I was looking up different programs and different medical schools, and knew I wanted to stay in the area. And I toured it with my mom, and I absolutely knew from the moment like I stepped foot that I did want to go to the school. I said, this is the place for me, and this is where I want to go. And it just, life happened, and I totally forgot that that's where I wanted to go, that I had that moment until I got brought back here.
Neat.
Yeah.
You're right. You said 2009, 2010. So suddenly now you're 12 years later, you finally were like stepping on the campus for yourself, and this is the journey. That's neat. Thank you for sharing. So then, being an Arizona native, having that initial feeling, did you apply to any of the other schools?
I didn't. So I got my degree at ASU about 10 years ago. And then I had my kids, at both of them. And then until recently, I knew like, okay, I'm ready to, like, I want to go to medical school. I want to pursue this. The dream that I had like hidden and buried away, and it kind of like was being unveiled until it got so big that I was just like, okay, I'm ready, let's do this. And I was looking into like U of A's program. I looked into the PA school at Midwestern, just the time, like, oh, it's just a 2-year program, like, could I do this? What are my options? I really love it here, and I don't want to move away. And then I looked at Sonoran, and it was just like not even a comparison to where I wanted to apply. So I only applied here because this is, again, going back to that same experience I had before. Like, this is the school that I wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. You felt the love, right, Alexandra? 'Cause I think I
did.
was your admissions rep.
You
So
were,
I'm gonna
yes.
take a little credit for that. No. And I'm sorry, you guys, Chelsea's having some computer issues. So I think she's in here. She's just trying to get through or get logged on. So
Sorry,
we'll
I'm
just
here
kind of,
now.
that's okay. I'm sorry. That's all right.
Well, we're
So
glad
let's
you
see,
made it in. Let me tell everybody a little bit about Chelsea since she's now able to join us. She has been married. Here's a little bit of her background, personal and academics. So she's been married for 10 years. She currently has 5 children with a 6th due in July. She moved to Arizona from Kansas just last year. So guys, you can do this. She absolutely loves the warm suns here, the summers. She spends lots of time hiking and going through our parks and stuff. So Chelsea, again, thank you for joining us. To both of you, thank you so much for taking this time out, especially during finals week. So Chelsea, anything else you'd like to say hello and add to our intro?
Hi. No, I'm just, if you're on the fence about being able to do this as a parent, I just wanted to say there's so many supportful parents in the program. We all support each other and we understand what we're going through, and it's completely doable.
Yeah. Awesome. And I believe Chelsea was my student as well. So I'm going to pat myself on the back for that one too. So Chelsea, I'm going to ask you how we're going to work this is Jane and I will go back and forth asking you and Alexandria some questions. Hopefully the audience will get involved a little bit more where they are asking questions that of topics they want to know about. But I always start out asking my guest speakers, how did you become interested in naturopathic medicine? Let's start there.
Okay. You want me to start, Alex?
Alex has already given her.
Oh, you
so
already
if
answered. Oh, okay.
yours.
All right.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the Midwest and like in Oklahoma and Kansas. So it's not very well known there. Like you don't really hear about naturopathic doctors. But I knew that I didn't like the traditional pathway. And when I had kids, that was more obvious to me just with the treatments that my pediatricians would recommend. And there were so many side effects and everything. So I started just as a mom really looking into everything myself and doing a lot of research and reading books. And some of the books that I read were from naturopathic doctors. So that really interested me because I had never heard of it before. And that's when I started looking into schools and it was just perfect. Like everything lined up with exactly what I believe in. So.
Very good. Very good. And did you apply, and I'm sorry, refresh my memory. Did you apply only to Sonoran or did you apply to all the naturopathic schools?
I only applied at Sonoran. I looked through all of them, but this one lined up the most with what I was looking for.
Okay. Fair enough.
Was it
Awesome.
like our scope of practice, just kind of poke a little deeper into that question?
Well,
like
in undergrad, I did a lot of research. So I loved the new research center and Dr. Langland, when I heard him talk, that was it for me. I loved hearing
good.
about all of that. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
We do have some
all right.
fun
So
faculty.
remind me, ladies. So did you already have children before you started Sonoran? So Alexandria, you have 2 children?
Yeah, so I have a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had both kids before you started school. Okay.
Yeah, and they're a little
Very
bit
good.
older, a little bit more self-dependent. And I think that makes a big difference too, as far as like whatever age your kids are at, I think they can help out with some little things. So we're constantly evolving that too and figuring out how we can be a family unit and support, and depending on their age and what they need done, and figuring it out.
Good. And what about you, Chelsea? Did you have?
I had 4 kids when I applied, and I actually, when I got accepted, found out I was pregnant with my 5th. But
I do remember. Yeah,
during COVID, and you actually messaged me and said, well, it's going to be online because of COVID. Do you still want to start the program? Yep. So I went ahead and gave birth right after classes and stuff. So, yep.
Awesome. Wow. 6 children.
Right.
Good for you.
Yeah. How was that transition, Chelsea, moving from one state to
Yeah.
another and with the caravan in tow, with the whole family?
Yeah, it was a lot. It took a lot of support from my husband. And I have 3 sisters, and they jumped in and helped when they could too. So I just had
Okay.
to be very patient with myself and do the best I could in the classes, and realize that not everything is going to be ideal how I want it to be, just to balance that chaos of moving with all the kids and classes.
So I'm sorry, can you say that again? So you actually started online and had to move while you were enrolled. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes. Yeah. So I think it was about 1.5 years online that most of my class, or all of them, were online. And then slowly some of them were more in person and some were still online. So it was a slow transition there, which was nice. And then now they're all
Right.
online or in person.
Right.
Outstanding.
Big change in the last couple years. Big changes.
Yeah. I'm always so
changes.
impressed and fascinated. I love this community. You guys are amazing to me, what you're accomplishing and how you're doing it. And I think, Chelsea, what you identified there is extremely important is the family support. You have to have that structure built around you. Do you have family here in the Valley?
So I have one sister, and then my mom is actually moving up now that I'm giving birth again. So she's
Nice.
one
Nice.
more. Yeah.
Very nice. Very
Awesome.
nice.
I'm curious, like Alexandria, do your children get to participate in sports and their own extracurricular activities and things like that? Like, I would love to hear a little more about your family dynamic and that balance.
Yeah, it's so interesting just how different it is from quarter to quarter. Like summer is a little bit different transition because they're home a lot more versus like their school schedule and the different sports that they do during the school year versus summer. So it just takes some planning and some forethought. But yes, my son and my daughter do jujitsu. My daughter also does swimming. They're at an age where I feel like I drive, or my husband and I like drive them a lot to practices and things like that. So friends' houses and things. So I'm able to take her. My daughter does swimming every night of the week. So I take her and I bring my computer and I'll study and I'll watch her. And it's like a nice break for me. I was just telling my sister just how like I like the outside time, and then it's just like more relaxing of a study. But they're able to do things. It just looks different than my life did before because I was fully stay-at-home mom. And I think that is different. Like I have to put less pressure on myself that they're not doing as much as they were before. I'm not taking them to all the summer movie programs, and it just looks different, but they're still enriched and they still get to socialize and they still get to go be with their friends in sports and things like that. Just having grace, like we're still surviving and we're still doing well. It just looks different.
Right.
I bet they're
Awesome.
all learning incredible time management skills for life.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Exactly. Chelsea, how old are your children?
So mine are 9, 7, 5, 4, 2, and then the new baby.
Okay. So you have quite a few, or a couple little ones. Okay. So I've often heard from students that you need to take time for you, just you. How do you ladies do that? With what do you do to take time for Alexandria or take time for Chelsea?
I think that's one that I could always do better on, there's a goal there. But my husband does help, especially on the weekends where I like to go on walks. And so I kind of make it a point where if I'm going on a walk, like not everyone is coming, so I might take 1 or 2 with me, just to get that, like, I don't know, just a little bit of a break, which they all want to come, but that's kind of my alone time where I can walk and like think through my own thoughts and have that.
Okay, good, great, awesome. What about you, Alex?
I think for me, like I have to know myself enough to know like what what are the things that bring me relaxation, that kind of ground me, that help me clear my head, and knowing what I need. For me, that's hiking and working out. So I just make sure that I have it in my calendar for that week. Like I know when is a convenient time. So it's not like I have to fit this in, like I already fit it in and I know when I'm doing that. So it's just forethought of planning of like the time blocking. Like I kind of do that with my workouts, and that's usually my mental breaks.
So I'm sure you're the big fan of the personal calendar and keeping everything in a planner and all that good stuff.
Yeah, actually, I have a couple of like, they're more like week things.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of that because I have this one for me at my desk, and I kind of plan out like exams or my workout times, or if I need to go to the store, when's a good time depending on my class schedule and my days. And then I have another one with a full week in the kitchen. And that, because our weeks kind of look different depending on like VBS or practices and who's going to whose house. So everything's on there. That way my husband can see, my son likes to know things in advance. It's all right there.
Wow.
And then I'll also put their chores depending on the day, like on that paper. Like that way I know this is going to get done and this is who's doing it. The communication helps so much because then we kind of manage our expectations. And if I
Wow.
forget something, which happens more now, if I forget something, then my husband can see and kind of add to it.
Good for you. I love that idea. Awesome.
A good visual.
Awesome.
Everybody sees it.
Yeah.
Everybody's involved.
Yeah. And everybody, so you got the kids doing chores, which, whether it's emptying the dishwasher or filling the dishwasher, that's just one less thing you have to do. Or, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And just basic
Wow.
life skills and all. That's fantastic for
Yeah.
sure. We've got a couple comments in the chat. Melissa, I'm not sure I understand your question, so I'm going to read it out loud and then maybe you can elaborate. But it says, looks different in that they do less because you have less time.
That was to Alexandria. She was saying that it looks different, and I was trying to understand what exactly you meant by looking different, meaning like they're doing less. I don't know what you meant.
I think that like I have to say no to more things than I would, because if I have to, not that they still get to do a lot, but I'm not like what do you want to do today? Let me go entertain you. And like I used to be.
Because you were a stay-at-home mom before, you're saying?
Absolutely, yeah.
Do you think that's because you were like, if you were in a regular work day, it would be the same though? Like in comparison, like if you were comparing a regular work day to school full-time, is it similar, or no, it would be even less? You know what I mean?
Oh no, like if I had a regular work day, I think I would be used to that. And so they would be able to do the same, probably the same that they were
Comparable.
used to. Yeah.
I see. Got it. Okay, thanks.
Thank you for asking questions. We love it when you guys engage. All right, so we've got a couple more notes. Can you share thoughts on 5-year versus 4-year track? What do you see most parents choosing? Great question.
So I chose the 5-year mostly because my kids are so little. So I wanted to split it up and kind of give them another year to, I don't know, to be a little older before I was full time. But there are plenty of moms who do the 4-year too. I've seen several other parents and they're very successful too. So it's really just you and your family and what you think would work best for you. Because I'll also be in the program longer because of that, where if it's only 4 years, there's pros and cons.
Yeah, I joined the 4-year track, but I was really nervous about the course load, and like I just had in the back of my mind like, oh, I could switch to 5, no problem if I needed to. Let me just try this and see how I do. I was also nervous because I hadn't been to college for like 10 years, and so like what was going back to school going to look like, and how much time can I handle it? Like, was I going to sink or swim? And it's still there, but I think I'm in the 4-year track still. I'm finishing quarter 5. And it's totally doable depending on what your season, your home life, your support's been huge. So
Oh, yeah,
That's
that's what I would
definitely-
think too.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Great feedback.
All right. So Jennifer is asking, so what does a typical day look like for each of you? How do you balance your school life with homework, classes, and time with your family? So what's your day look like, Alex?
So every quarter the schedule is a little bit different. Like I like to get to school early. So my husband usually takes the kids to school. That helps me a ton. And he picks them up. That's just the way that it works for us. I usually have like a 8 a.m. or a 9 a.m. class right now, and I get to school an hour earlier because I'm type A, like, let me just get here and get all my ducks in a row. So I get home around 5 or a little bit earlier some days. I commute about 30 minutes to school. So I listen
Okay.
to recorded lectures. A lot of the professors will record the lectures. So I use that time to like get the information in my brain like again, because I'm taking an hour commute, there and back. And that helps me so much. So many times in an exam, I'll like remember exactly like word for word what they said. And I just feel better about like, okay, I can go home and cook with my son because like I already spent that time reviewing and studying. So I'll do that, and then I'll cook. I'll take my kids to practice, and then I don't watch as much TV because like I want to spend time studying. So I just kind of study until about 8 or 9, and then I go to bed. But my sleep hasn't like I don't stay up late and I don't cram. Sleep I know is super important to me. So I feel like I get healthy sleep. I get up around 6.
Good for you.
Oh, thanks.
Awesome. What about you, Chelsea? What's your day look like?
So I think I'm more on the chaotic end of things. So maybe I'm a good example of how there can be chaos and you can still make it through. But
Okay, that's okay.
so my husband, he commutes an hour to work every day, so he can't help with the kids with school. But it has really worked out so far where most of the time I can drop them off and it doesn't interfere with my classes. But there are some days where I have had to pay a sitter to drop them off or pick them up. And honestly, they love that. They're excited. Like, oh, is Miss Nicole going to pick us up today? Like they prefer
Okay.
that. I guess it's fun. So I'll get up, get everyone ready. We kind of have to get like lunches and everything done the night before. So it's all just ready to go and get everyone dressed and dropped off at school and the sitter. And then I go to school, and then there's some of the schedules you'll have like a 2 or 3 hour break in between classes. And because mine are still so little and they're used to me being a stay-at-home mom, I take that time to go pick them up from the center and we'll go to the park and hang out or a little bit, just to spend that time they're used to having with me. And that kind of gives me a break to like refresh my mind too, and then go back and finish classes and then pick them up from everything. And I do a lot of my studying after they go to bed because it's just it's really hard to when they're awake, just to spend that time studying. So if I have a huge test, then my husband will watch them and I'll leave the house and go to a coffee shop. But if it's just normal everyday studying, I'll wait till they go to sleep and I'll study between like 9 and 11. So I definitely don't get as much sleep as I should probably, but that's just kind of the sacrifice we're making to get everything done and still having that time with the little ones.
Very nice. Awesome. Well, it sounds like you both have it pretty well under control. So that's good. That's good. All right. So there's another question. So Tammy asked, Alexandria, why did you choose to go from a stay-at-home mom to a medical student now instead of later? That's a great question.
I felt, I guess, so I had how much do I want to say? I had a loss. I lost someone in my life, and it really, really made me like question the healthcare system and the care, especially for women. And it put that a little bit of water on that seed that I had of that dream. And once that started getting water, it kind of like I couldn't put it aside. It was like I knew I'm ready to do it this now. I also it kind of scared me with the stay-at-home transition to medical school student. And I didn't take that transition lightly. I like really like I'm a Christian. So I went and I spent time and I meditated on this. I prayed over this. I went and saw my counselor and I had to like talked through this with her. Is this just a whim? Like, is this something that I really should pursue? How will this affect my family? And she was so, it was amazing for me. She really took my picture of like fear and she showed me the blessings of it and the beautiful parts, like how it's not me just going to medical school. This is like my family. This is a unit where they're all going to benefit, not just me from doing this. And I can kind of see that like with some things that we're learning, even though we're still so new in the program, some of the things that I'm able to bring into like, oh, I just learned that. Let me look at your throat and let's try this. So that those moments show me like this is a glimpse of that everybody's benefiting. And so it's okay. Like that's what I take from those moments.
Very good. Very good. I
What a
love
cool
it.
mentor. Yeah, what a great, just eye-opening experience to see a different
Yeah.
picture and different perspective. Good for you. Neat. Thank you for
Absolutely.
sharing.
Yeah.
How much time do you guys feel like you're spending away from your family?
That's tough. It definitely differs depending on how many tests we have. I would say on a very easy week, I mean, there's at least 20 hours, right, in class, minimum, probably
Okay.
in actual class, and then the drive there and back. But if I have to stay on campus or coffee shop to study, I don't know, finals, I put in at least 30 hours this weekend, but I feel like that's
Wow.
but that's, once a quarter for finals.
Mhm.
What about you, Alex?
So we just had like we both had the big gen med exam, and my husband and my son, they were like, should we go out? They like to gold prospect, so should we go out gold prospecting? And I said sure, like yes, let me go to the store for you so you could like, because those two, they love to like come and talk to me while I'm trying to study. So I think like if they can go out and have like father-son bonding time outside, and then I'll just use that time and I'll like study more. That's like we've done that multiple times for finals, and that's been really helpful. And then I don't know about time, like how much time I'm away from them. I really know like what's my goal for what do I have to study today, and then like making sure that I get that in. But then also I really feel like I try to be like, I love, Chelsea, how you go to the park, and I try to be intentional with like pockets of time with my kids. Like, let's get out this game and let's play this board game together. Because like I don't want to just be around the house like not studying. Like I want to be with you and be engaged with you, and let's go hike this mountain together and watch the sunset. Like, so if that's my break time and that's the time I'm not studying, like I want to be using it well. I want to be with them. And so that's kind of how we spend time and kind of how I look at it. So I think that's a really hard question to answer, but I hope that I did it some justice.
Yeah,
Good
I
job.
also say
Yeah.
that, like the time that I do have with my children, I am so much more refreshed because I'm doing what I love. Like I really feel inspired every day that I'm, reaching my own goals, where I loved being a stay-at-home parent so much, but there were days where I was just exhausted and I didn't want to do anything with them anyways,
Yeah.
And I feel like the
Right.
time that I do have is so much more intentional and refreshed and a good version of myself.
And constant reminders of your purpose, like why you guys are driving this
Yeah.
and making this change. I love it.
Exactly.
Great questions. Good job,
Exactly.
everybody.
Good.
Where
So
are we at?
Chelsea,
Go ahead.
yeah, how does it work with having a baby, maternity leave while you're in school?
So the first time it was completely online, so I didn't have to experience that much, but I know there's a lot of work in progress right now that we're going through. Some of the other pregnant women and I have been pushing different things. And from my understanding, there's a new 3-week leave that we get where you get 3 weeks after you give birth, where you get to kind of not check into school or your teachers, which I do plan on keeping track of what's going on and checking in anyways, but just to give yourself that 3-week recovery from the birth and everything that entails. And then you work with your professors to try to catch up on what you missed. But some of the professors, like, I think it's a lot of just checking in with your individual professors, because a lot of mine are going to do Zoom classes and try to include me in the lectures anyways during that time. So everyone has been very supportive and trying to work with that crazy time, so you don't have to take a break if you don't want to.
As much as you'd like, I'm sure you'd like to schedule that birth for the day
Right?
after finals.
I know.
Exactly.
At least to have that 2 weeks where there's nothing going on, and then see how it goes.
Exactly.
That's funny. I just thought of a question. I don't want to deviate too far from our list there, but do you guys know of any single parents in the curriculum?
Yes.
Yeah.
We both know one person that I can definitely think of, one individual. She's doing really well. I mean, she constantly impresses me, and I feel like that with a lot of the other parents, like constantly, we're all of our lives look so different, and like we're all doing it. And one of the things when you guys were talking, we have a communication, like it's called Slack. I never heard of it before. But our class communicates on there, and that was really helpful. So like, no matter if we're in the throes of life with the kids or with family, like that communication and that like camaraderie we have as a cohort has really helped as far as like making sure you're not dropping the ball or when's assignments due. And even like a good job, we made it to finals week, like all of those things really helped too. But yes, I do know a single parent. She's doing really well.
Outstanding.
Right. That's a good question, Jane, because I was thinking the same thing is, support is fantastic, but not everybody has another, partner in the household, that can help out. So it's good to hear that this person is doing well. That's great.
Mhm.
That's right. And I would think with the support of the people, like you said, of the students around this person and keeping this person going every day and the support of the school. So I know that helps a lot. So good to hear. Good to hear.
Mhm. Thank you.
All right. Where are we, Jean? I don't even know. Let's
Okay,
see.
so we've got a question from Angel. How do y'all pay for rent and afford your groceries? Coming from the sole provider of my family, is that going to be possible?
Well, just speaking so my husband works, so that helps. But from the perspective of the mom that Zan was just talking about, I know that she survives paying for all of that. And I mean, it's definitely a transition, but the student aid and everything helps a lot. And it does cover, what you need.
Yeah, I would say that too. The student loans. But I think I remember seeing over by the stairs in the Lynn Commons building, there's a sign that has like a food pantry. So I think that I think that we have that as to support and help with some families too. So that's good.
Yeah. And it's open certain days in the quarter. Our financial aid department puts that on, but she's got tons of different stuff in there for students to go in and get help. So good.
Yeah. And that our friends that we're talking about, I know she's talked with the financial aid department, especially like being singles, stay at home.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know her specific situations, but I know that she's been able to go to them and have conversations and talk and been supported. So I just wanted to share that too.
Yeah.
Really good
Yeah.
points. Yeah, you both made some really good points. So federal financial aid, our loans are structured so that not only do you receive enough to cover tuition and fees, but you are getting a pretty substantial amount that covers your rent, electricity, food, puts money in your pocket so that you have money for living expenses and you're not worried about how the bills are going to get paid. You need to be focused on your academics. And then there is things called professional judgment and different life circumstances that, as Alex pointed out, when you meet with financial aid, they will definitely work with you on your budget and what specific funding might be available for your circumstances as well. So great questions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All
Woo.
right, so we have a question from Bertha.
Good.
Do you choose your schedules? And can I expect to be off around 5 p.m. for the most part? I don't think you choose your schedules, do you?
You can choose which lab
Oh.
sometimes. So sometimes there will be more
Okay.
than one lab option and you can choose. But it's kind of like you get up early and make that choice. And if you end up being the first group that chooses that, then that's what you get. And so you don't always get what you like ask for, if that makes sense. But as
Okay.
far as being up at 5, I think most of the time, there was one quarter in particular where I had several late classes that went till 7:30. But in general, you're off by 5.
Okay.
To be more specific, oh, go ahead, Alex. Yeah, I was going to talk about the schedule and how it's pre-built, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I was gonna say like the selectives, when I think Q4 you can start selectives, Q4 or 5. And those tend to be more later in the evenings, but some of them don't go the whole quarter. So that's something to think about for the future. But for the most part, I think most of them are done around 5, but yeah, the schedule is pretty like set and it's different each quarter. Like this quarter, I don't have class on Tuesday until 1, and that's my only, like every other day I start at 9 or 8. So it kind of depends.
You guys
Okay.
mind if I share my screen? I actually pulled up the beast of an Excel workbook that shows the block schedule. So to give you guys an idea, this is kind of what a second quarter student's schedule is going to look like this summer, Monday through Friday. And you can see, yeah, for the most part, everything here ends by or before 5 p.m. and starts as early as 8 a.m. Can you guys see that okay? How's that?
Yep.
A little bit better.
Yeah.
What quarter are you, Alex?
Right now I'm 5.
So she's going to be quarter 6. Here's her schedule over the summer. Do you know which lab assignment you'll have?
I do know, but I can't remember. That's for a later part. I think I'm in lab group 1.
So that means that you won't have, how do I do this? Like, no, right.
Actually, no, I'm in lab group 1 because I don't have nutrition on Friday.
So that would go away, right?
Um,
And then this goes away.
yes.
I see.
Yeah, so everything with 01 in it
This goes
is
away.
for group.
And that goes away.
ACMD, what is that, Alex?
Which one?
The Wednesday ACMD?
That's the acupuncture and Chinese medicine.
Okay.
We get to
Okay.
learn the points of acupuncture.
Very good, very good. Okay. They used to call it OMD, I think, or something. So, okay. That's what threw me off. Awesome. So
There's
these
your
would be your
schedule for the
classes.
summer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you won't even have this nutrition though either. Oops.
Yeah.
So you have Fridays off. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Wow, that's awesome.
I don't know how to get rid of it, but that's kind of
Great.
fun. Just to give you guys
You
a
got
sample. Of,
plenty, right? You
Yeah.
have plenty of time for the park on Friday, Alex.
Sweet.
Awesome. All right.
I think we had some more questions pop up. Let's see what else is in the chat. Kyrie's on the line, giving you guys a good inner burning fire. Just cheering you guys on. I love it. Thank you for sharing from Alexis Thomas. All right, Chelsea, why did you decide to go from, oh, did we already ask this? Hold on. There we go. I found some new ones. If you could choose 2 to 4 undergrad classes you wish you had taken or did take that were super helpful and relevant to your studies at Sonoran, what would they be?
I think any extra like anatomy always helps. Like I was glad that I came in with a pretty firm understanding of anatomy and physiology, but the classes really, the professors do prepare you for what they want you to know. So
Yeah, I agree with the anatomy. I was nervous about, again, like it being so long since got my undergrad. So right before, right when I was finishing and I got accepted, I went onto YouTube and I was like, let me just refresh my brain with like, I found some old professors' anatomy lectures. And so I was just watching those. And I thought that was helpful because it put like the terminology back in my head. And it like was, I don't know, I got to practice being in school a little bit just to be like, okay, my life might look like this, or this is going to be a glimpse into the future. So I thought that was really helpful. I don't know, it wasn't necessary, but it made me feel more at ease.
Good suggestions. I mean, you can't go wrong with anatomy for sure. I skipped something up here. What does family housing look like?
I don't know how to answer that one. I'm not sure.
Well, we'll start with the basics. So just so everyone's aware, we don't have on-campus housing. Our students are on their own to find their own housing. Typically, once a candidate's admitted to the program, we attempt to connect you on private Facebook groups. I love that Alex mentioned Slack. I don't know about that, but we want you guys to start to get connected, whether it's to find future roommates, classmates, shared housing, and that type of opportunity. Right next to our campus, we have apartment complexes, townhomes, single family homes, a variety of options around here for rent. Alex, you mentioned your commute's about a half an hour. Are you just in a rural family neighborhood?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I have friends, classmates that live in those apartments next to the school and can just walk over. And I think that sounds really nice too.
Yeah, I would think there's benefits to that and maybe not. You live too close, then are you at the school all the time or more than you need to be? Or if you live far away, do you get that break? I mean, I guess there's good and bad about it, living right next door. But all right, let's see, where are we, Jane? Did we ask you ladies, the single parent that you brought up, Alex, do you know how many children she has?
She has 4.
Okay.
Wow.
I think they're from 10 or 11 to almost in kindergarten.
Okay.
Wow. What a trooper.
Very
Good for her.
inspiring.
Okay,
Yeah.
good question.
Let's see. I asked about prep. Is there a general track that you both began with or are finishing with your future career? Or have you chosen a specialty that you want to tackle? Is there a variety of classes you can choose to help dial in on that specialty?
So we're still pretty early with the first 2 years. It's really a lot of general classes, your basic sciences and everything, and some clinical classes. But there are clubs and everything that you can join if there's interests you have. And then there will be more classes when we get further in.
Yeah, and I think the selectives too, like this quarter I did a neuro-emotional technique class, and that was totally really cool. I think I would like to use that in my practice. So there's opportunities, especially with the clubs too, like Chelsea said, to kind of explore different options to kind of, if you don't know what specialty or what you want to go into, to help kind of guide and give you options and more modalities. So that's really helpful. I still I don't know yet. I know my heartstrings will be tugged in one direction or another, but
Right.
also still feel so new or early into this that I know I'll get exposed to more later.
And you'll probably change your mind 20 more times, so yeah. Is your next quarter, Alex, is that your first quarter doing acupuncture?
So it will be our third. So 2
Okay.
quarters ago we got like basics, where we kind of
Got
get
it.
an introduction, and then this quarter we learned diagnostics, so with the pulses and tongue and other
Got it.
things. Yeah.
And then the next quarter is you're knowing your meridians. Nice.
Yes.
So digging deeper and deeper. Awesome.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Neat.
Now's where I would think it starts getting exciting, so you've gotten, I mean, you're not through your basic sciences yet, but you kind of have a grasp on what it's all about, what puts that body together, what makes that body function.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I like that, like we got through anatomy, we got through physiology, but now we're like learning botanical medicine and acupuncture
yeah.
and all like the physical medicine, and it's more hands-on. So it definitely is really neat.
Yeah.
You feel the purpose. What about later special? What's the special? What's the shucks? I just drew a blank on those tracks. We've got special tracks, right? Nature
Honors?
Cure. What's it called?
Honors track?
Yes. Thank you, Jody. Honors tracks. Do either of you have an interest in those, or do you know much about those honors tracks?
I don't. Do you?
No, I don't know very much about it either.
Okay.
Okay.
Shot in the dark.
All right.
We'll bring that one up later. What's your favorite class so far?
One that really surprised me is I've really enjoyed nutrition. So it's in the kitchen. So we actually cook different recipes, and then he lectures in there. And Dr. Kennedy is just so knowledgeable that he really breaks everything down and makes it very relatable, which is awesome because that's very important as a future ND, to have that nutrition.
Right.
Yeah, I think we have some really amazing professors. So like what you said with Dr. Kennedy, and then microbiology and immunology with Dr. Langland, like he is amazing and makes it really engaging and lively. And like that was a really fun class because of him. Phys med was really cool for me this time. Like I was really nervous about it, but Dr. Stopa like totally helped explain things and put me to ease, and I did some manipulations, and that felt really cool. What else? I really
Nice.
like the acupuncture and Chinese medicine. I just love seeing like how intertwined and how our bodies like all connected, and what lifts and what tonifies. Like I love that. So I don't know. The teachers make it
Very
really
nice.
That's cool. Courtney has, how much training in herbalism do you receive? She calls it herbology. Do we have herbology in our curriculum?
botanical medicine.
Botanical, right? Right.
I don't know how much we receive yet. This is our first quarter with botanical medicine, and I know we'll have it for many. We just learned the very basics, and we'll have it for many quarters to come. So that's
Very
as
good.
much. Yeah.
One of my
Very
favorite
good.
resources is definitely the program of study that literally breaks it down quarter by quarter and shows you every class
Yeah.
each quarter and the amount of credits, the amount of hours, whether they're labs or lectures or clinical hours, things like that. I love that program of study because that will definitely outline
Yeah.
how many hours of each topic.
Yep, I agree. Let's see, how long are you able to take online classes until you need to be there in person? Are both of you pretty much on campus full time now?
Yeah, there's still a few that are online, but they're mostly in person now.
That's what I thought. What would you say? Maybe 95%, 90% are on campus?
Yeah, pretty close.
Okay. Very good. Very good. All right, we have about 4 more minutes. I have one last question. So to both of you, what advice can you give to our audience here that you feel could prepare them for what they are getting ready to get into and having a family? What advice can you give?
I would say if I wish that I could give myself advice starting out would be to just have so much patience and to realize the significance of what I'm doing, and to focus on that because it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be even like I'm not going to have the perfect schedule of what I want as far as studying and everything. And you have to be patient with that, and really prioritize the time. So if there might be 2 classes that have tests one right after another, and you really have to focus on, okay, what do I really need to know from each class? I would love to learn everything, but to put that time in with the kids where they need that time and to really focus on what is most important to me as a future physician and for this class and to not get too carried away with the details and have that and that's okay.
Very good.
I think I'm a really visual person. And so what is knowing your like why, like what's drawing you to the program? Why do you want to do this? And have that visual and keep it somewhere where you can often look at it and not forget it. And quarter to quarter, things look so different as far as your class schedules and which classes and labs or classmates. So I think, and for your kids too, like what they have going on in their life. So just having grace for yourself that what you put in or what it looks like your day to day and what you get done could look different from quarter to quarter. And just give yourself grace that it might look different than you thought it would, or it might be your expectations might be different that what you thought you would be doing versus what it looks like. So just give yourself grace and know that you can do it. Don't be looking at everyone else and comparing yourself because that just robs everything.
Yep.
But it's absolutely doable. And like what Chelsea was saying, it's a layering process. So even if you didn't like completely understand that concept this quarter, you're going to hear it again in another quarter in another way. So it's a layering process. So just know that too.
Good. But remember the why. I love that. Remember the why. Awesome.
Wonderful. What a great
Thank you
session.
both. This has been awesome.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes, thank
especially
you.
during this week of finals. Good luck with your exams.
Yes.
Enjoy your break and all of this time right now.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
thank you all of our guests. Lots of great questions today. We really appreciate your interaction. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us.
All right. All right. Thanks you.
All right. I'm going to stop recording. Nope, just kidding. I never figure out how to do this. Hang on.